Povich Field. As the first out of the inning was just recorded, Ty Smolinski, the leadoff hitter for the Senators, lining out to the first baseman Emilio Gonzalez, and now stepping up to the plate is the left fielder Nathan Brewer.
A very quick first out for the first at bat, as that one's lined down center field. Scooped up by Jaden Bastian.
So a nice piece of hitting there from Brewer with one out, and entering this game just 3 of 15 here in the first few games of the season. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Mikey Guy, who has 1 of 2 homers for the Senators on the season.
Got number 30, Evan Smith, on the mound for the Big Train tonight. He was also on the mound during our exhibition game when they faced same team, Southern Maryland Senators. So that pickoff attempt is unsuccessful.
So after the unsuccessful pickoff attempt, the first pitch to Guy is in there for a strike.
Mikey Guy, number 22. He's a rising senior at Frostburg State University, hails from Clements, Maryland. Mechanical engineering major.
There's a shot in the center field. Bastian ranging back at the warning track, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
Which will send Brewer back over to first base. He was attempting to steal second, but with Bastian able to glove that in the outfield out by the warning track.
Again, one of 2 players to hit a home run this season so far for the Senators. A loud out for out number 2, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Nate McHugh.
McHugh doubles as a catcher. He's a rising junior at Boston College, hails from Franktown, Colorado.
As that first pickoff attempt is unsuccessful.
McHugh played his freshman season at Iowa Western before eventually transferring to Boston. In 2022, he's a team captain and first-team All-Conference for Regis Jesuit High School.
And a big swing and a miss from McHugh for strike 2.
Didn't see a lot of action at Boston College this past season, only recording 6 at-bats. Started 2 games, recorded 2 runs, 2 hits, and was struck out twice.
Excuse me, that was strike 1. The second pickoff attempt is going to gun down the runner. No! The runner, Brewer, is safe at second. As the umpire ruled, Landon Franklin did not get the tag down in time. And that's been a theme through these first few games for the Big Train, especially in that middle infield. Just so many routine plays not being made. That one another shining example. And so now, with 2 outs here in the top of the first, the Senators have a runner in scoring position. Here comes the 0-1. That one's outside for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch. That one's chopped over the glove of Newman at third and into left. Brewer's around third. He'll score without a throw, and the Senators strike first here in the top of the first inning with 2 outs.
Just an unfortunate read on that situation. He had his glove out. It looked like it was going to go right into it, but then it bounced just over his glove there. He wasn't able to get a good hand on it, and he's a pretty speedy runner. He's pretty fast, so he had already kind of run past it before he was able to backtrack and go after the ball.
So the 2-out Demons strike the Big Train again. And they find themselves in an early hole as the first pitch to Owen DeShazo is low for a ball.
Owen DeShazo, another Boston College player. He's a rising junior at Boston College. Hails from Glen Allen, Virginia.
As that pitch is inside for ball 2. So once again, the Big Train coming off of their first loss of the season last night to the Aces. And the Senators, just like the other 3 teams in the South Division, come into today at 2-2, as there's a liner into center field. Bastian's under it for out number 3. But the Senators draw first blood in the top of the first, thanks to a slight gaffe by Carter Newman in the third. They lead 1-0. We will be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network. Yeah, that worked. Whatever you just did worked. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We're here live at Shirley Povich Field, where the Southern Maryland Senators have scratched across the run in the top of the first inning as they lead 1-0. As the Big Train set to bat, and they are set to face Caden Carlin of the Southern Maryland Senators. Phoebe, tell us a little bit about Mr. Carlin.
Yep, the left-handed pitcher is a rising junior at Monmouth University.
There's a really good glove from Smolinski to get out number one.
Carlin hails from Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, and he was ranked a top 100 player by the Prep Baseball Report coming out of Pennsylvania. Didn't have a lot of action this past season. He pitched 11.1 innings, recording 7 strikeouts. Again, a rising junior at Monmouth University.
Here comes the first offering to Jaden Bastion. That's in there for a strike. As you said, Carlin pitched sparingly for Monmouth this past season. Just 11 1/3 for the Hawks. As Bastion finds himself in an 0-1 hole. Second offering. Off speed, fouled off for strike 2. And again, the batter before, Jordan Crosland, back in the starting lineup after not starting last night against the Alexandria Aces, but he is back at second base where he has started mostly throughout these first few games of the season, looking for some redemption both in the field and at the plate as well. Put some good wood on that first at-bat, but again, a really nice glove from Smolinski. 0-2 to Bastion's fouled off. As so far, Crosland has been credited with 6 errors in the field. Would like to keep it at that number for the rest of the season.
Again, you mentioned we've been seeing a lot of difficulty over by that second base with some routine plays.
As that one's upstairs for ball one.
But as we've mentioned before, and we'll mention again, this is just a part of routine summer baseball, is just really trying to grind out those routine plays and improve your skills all around as a player. So errors like that are to be expected, and they'll be improved upon as we move further and further into the season.
Bastion looking at the 1-2 off speed outside. Trying to battle back from a hole. Here comes the 2-2. Fouled off again.
A much cooler night here at Shirley Povich Field. I mean, normally when we're witnessing the first pitch, it's about 80 plus degrees outside. Right now we're looking at a cool 75 with a very nice breeze.
Here comes the 2-2. Inside for ball three. Definitely one of the nicer nights we've had here at Povich. Had some rain earlier in the week, causing a bunch of the league's games to get postponed on Wednesday, which is when the Big Train and Aces were originally supposed to play, as the full count pitch is fouled off once again. The Senators had their last game postponed as well, which was supposed to happen, I believe, on Wednesday. So they have not played a game since Tuesday, where they lost 5-1 to the Grays, who the Big Train will be playing tomorrow at Prince George's Community College. Here comes the 3-2. Off speed just outside for ball four. So a good eye there from Bastion gives the Big Train their first base runner. That'll bring up the first baseman, Emilio Gonzalez.
A sophomore at Florida Atlantic, the first baseman, number 45, Emilio.
Again, as Quentin mentioned, we will be on the road tomorrow to face the DC Grays, and you will be able to tune in to Big Train Baseball Network. We're going to see if we can get a camera pointed at the field this time.
Yeah, for all who were watching yesterday, sorry you had to stare at us two the entire time. That was not what we had in mind before the game, as Gonzalez will take ball one outside. But sometimes you just got to take what you can get. Had to make the best of the situation.
Roll with the punches.
And we should be good to go tomorrow. So you will actually be able to see the baseball happening as it happens. 1-0 to Gonzalez is outside for ball two.
Gonzalez, the rising sophomore at Florida Atlantic. He's now started the past 3 games since arriving here at Bethesda, Maryland.
Again, a native of Cape Coral, Florida. Had a great season for FAU in 2024. As Gonzalez is going to take a 4-pitch walk. Big Train wasting little time responding, as that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Matthew Westley.
Designated hitter, number 20, Matthew Westley.
I don't mean to go off topic this early in the game, but I just saw a gentleman walk by in a what looks like a Boston Celtics Jesus Shuttlesworth jersey. Again, the character played by Ray Allen, and He Got Game with Denzel Washington. One of my personal favorite basketball movies, as that first pitch to Wesley's inside for ball one.
Now again, Big Train finds themselves sitting behind in the score very early on in the game, but what we're seeing now that we didn't really see last night is them really getting some momentum at the plate, starting to strike back early.
Not wanting Evan Smith to be pitching from behind. Big Train in an opportunistic scenario to tie or even take the lead. 1-1 pitch is lined, diving stop. Good glove by Smolinski, but they cannot get the out at first. as the first baseman, Ian Kennedy, could not reel that one in. And so the Train have the bases loaded with just one out for the right fielder, Josh Skoronsky.
At the University of Kentucky, the right fielder, number 39, Josh Skoronsky.
Skoronsky was very, I was going to say implemental, but I don't think that's the correct word. He was very important
There you go.
to the success that Big Train was having last night in getting some runs on the board and starting to bite back at that score deficit.
That off-speed inside is in there for a strike. Skoronsky not too long ago taking a pitch very similar to that. Way into the trees over the retired numbers just inside the foul pole and right.
He had a very similar hit last night, although not at Shirley Povich Field, but in that same general direction of the Aces field. What would have been the retired numbers wall had it been at Shirley Povich Field. But again, he's been very successful at the plate. He got off a double last night. Had some pretty huge hits so far this summer.
Here comes the 0-2. Inside for ball one. Carlin really working that inside part of the plate to Skoronsky. Again, an interesting choice considering that's the part of the zone he lit up for a 2-run shot against the T-Bolts the other night. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. So the off-speed fools Skoronsky. And now all of a sudden, Carlin has a chance to leave him loaded and get out of this inning unscathed. But first you'll have to go through Landon Franklin, who currently leads the Big Train in hits with 6 so far in the season. First pitch to Franklin's high and outside for a ball. Again, was a part of that fielding gaff last half inning. Looking to avenge himself here at the plate. The 1-0 pitch. In there for strike one. As Franklin will take a quick time. Not too long, however. The 1-1. Inside for ball two. Again, Franklin's 7th potential hit here would guarantee a run, if not more, for the Big Train. The 2-1 pitch. That one's skied into the middle of the infield, and that one's caught by Smolinski for out number 3.
Did well to charge back in towards the mound to get under that ball.
And so opportunities left unpursued. The Train leave them loaded in the bottom of the first, as the Senators will come back up to bat soon here on Big Train Baseball Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. Live here from Shirley Povich Field as we just kicked off the top of the second inning with
number 14, Quinn Allen.
Fouling one off for strike one.
Quinn Allen doubles as a pitcher and a hitter. He's going into his junior year at Yavapai College. Now, he's a right-handed pitcher, but he bats left. And he recently transferred to Yavapai from ECU.
The 0-1 pitch is outside for a ball.
He's primarily a hitter at Yavapai, which is probably why he's at the plate again today for the Senators instead of on the mound.
As the 1-1 pitch, a solid piece of hitting there from the sixth spot in the lineup. And so that'll bring up the 7-hitter Ian Kennedy. Not to be confused with the longtime major leaguer Ian Kennedy, who shares the same name. As that one's chopped to short and knocked down by Franklin, but there will be no play. That one in a tough spot for Franklin, who chose not to charge, nor did he retreat. Doing one of those would have probably been a good option, but nevertheless had to just bat that one down to prevent it from getting by him. Now the Senators have runners on the corners with no outs for Mike Sweeney.
Sweeney, the rising sophomore at Hofstra University. He hails from Belrose, New York. In 2022, he was a part of Chaminade's New York State Championship and the 2021 League Championship team.
As the pickoff attempt to first is unsuccessful. Now Sweeney enters this game just 3 of 18 so far in the season, but on the Hofstra website, he lists his favorite baseball player as Trey Turner. Looking to emulate his play, as Turner has a hit in all but 6 games this season. As the 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. As Smith trying to work out of a runners on the corners jam. And they've got the runner Kennedy in a pickle, and they've got him at second. So that's the second time in the last few games we've seen a similar scenario. A runner caught in a pickle on a pickoff attempt at first. This time, however, Kennedy, the runner, was gunned down. And so a huge out there for the Big Train. Really nice job of Smith selling that pitch, getting Kennedy frozen. Here comes the 0-2. That one's fouled off. So Sweeney will stay alive. The 0-2. Fouled off once again. Sweeney again. Both a pitcher and a hitter, although he did only pitch sparingly for the Pride last season, just 4 innings.
In those 4 innings of work, he was able to get off 1 strikeout.
0-2 pitch is high for ball 1.
Smith doing well to pick off 1 runner on base. Senators still have 1 in scoring position.
As the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3.
But as I say that, they now have 2 outs on the board. Smith doing well to keep the Big Train alive and holding the Senators at their 1 run.
Number 8, Silas Boris.
That'll bring up the 9-hitter Silas Boris with run number 2 just a base away.
Silas Boris is a rising sophomore at Georgia Southern University. He hails from Greensboro, North Carolina. His mother, Suzanne, was a volleyball player at St. Joseph College.
Swing and a miss for strike 1.
And in 2019, Boris was named the National MLB Pitch Hit and Run Champion.
A very prestigious honor for younger kids. Let's see if he can translate that here. The 0-1 pitch is inside for ball one. Boris entering today just 2 of 11 on the season. Would definitely love to make that 3 of 12. The 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
You can hear some trepidatious music playing over the loudspeaker, representing the situation at hand. Smith has the ability to strike out this next batter and hold the Senators at 1 run.
1-2 pitch is high for ball 2. Trepidatious. What does that mean?
Trepidatious is kind of like I'm trying to think of the
Any
it's kind of
synonyms?
like anxiety, like
Okay.
you know, like there's a lot riding on it. It's like
As that ground ball is gloved by Newman, but he could not hang on. And the Senators are going to scratch across and run number 2.
yeah.
So again, another tough situation for Newman. They're on a grounder to third. That'll bring up the top of the order once again. Ty Smolinski stepping up with 2 outs and a runner on.
Here, the definition of trepidatious: apprehensive or nervous, filled with trepidation. So it's like fearful.
I was going to say, I was going to ask if you've been rewatching old Nick games with Clyde Frazier doing color commentary. Big thesaurus guy, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled off for strike 2.
Just doing some homework.
Always trying to expand the vocabulary. I like it. And so now Smolinski in a hole here, as that pitch is outside for a ball.
Ty Smolinski, a rising freshman at Kansas State University. He hails from Gretna, Nebraska. Went to Bellevue West High School.
The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. The scoreboard changed right as I said that. So what looked like a dangerous scenario ended up biting the Big Train a little bit as the Senators take a 2-0 lead here on some Friday evening CRS CBL action. We'll be right back on Big Train Baseball Network.
watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, live from Shirley Povich Field, where the Senators have a 2-0 lead headed into the bottom of the second. Leading off the inning for the Big Train, it's going to be Chris Diaz, who did not get a start last night, but is back in the lineup tonight.
It's been a very typical starter in the Big Train lineup, but as you mentioned, Quentin, we didn't see him in the lineup last night when the Big Train took on their first road game to face the Alexandria Aces.
Here comes the 1-0. Off speed in there for strike 2. So Carlin really working the inside part of the plate, especially with off-speed pitches. Has found a good bit of success, albeit a limited sample size.
Similar to last night, the Big Train is finding themselves in a score deficit very early on. See if they have better luck tonight at coming back from this deficit and starting to put runs on the board. We saw them get a lot of momentum at the plate in the last inning, getting runners on base, but unfortunately they left bases loaded.
2-1 pitch is fouled off. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. That one's lined foul. So what would have been an extra base hit, if not for a few more feet, sends Diaz back to the batter's box. Again, apologies in advance. The sun is pretty much eliminating everything from the right side of second base from my line of sight, as this ballpark, unlike many across the country, was built facing the sun. Here comes the 2-2. That one lined right to the second baseman, Boris. And on to first for out number 1.
From Woodbridge, Virginia, a junior.
And so that'll bring up the third baseman, Carter Newman. Virginia Tech Hokie.
Newman at Virginia Tech, he typically takes on the position of center fielder, but for the Big Train, he's been a pretty steady and solid third baseman.
As that first pitch is fouled off just beyond the bleacher seats down the right field line. Here comes the 0-1. Outside for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-1. Just inside the strike zone for strike 2. So Newman trying to fight his way out of a hole. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Carlin, not much of a strikeout pitcher in his limited action with Hofstra last season, but already has a pair with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, as Cole Constable will step up to the plate.
As we mentioned in previous games, it appears Cole Constable and Luca Perriello switch off every game so far. Last night we saw Luca Perriello behind the plate. Today it's Cole Constable. Home game on Tuesday was Cole Constable behind the plate.
First pitch to Constable. Up high for ball 1.
Constable's a rising sophomore at Maryland.
The 1-0. That one's in there for strike 1. Constable entering this game 2 of 6 at the plate, as the 1-1 pitch is chopped to Kennedy, gloved just inside foul territory, and he'll make it to first in time for out number 3. So good hustle from the Wolverine as the Big Train remain scoreless. 2-0 Senators as we head into the top of the third inning. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network.
Every year, kids ages 5.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Southern Maryland Senators have a 2-0 lead over the Big Train as we set to kick off the top of the third with the left fielder Nathan Brewer. As the first offering to Brewers outside for ball number 1.
Again, the Big Train finding themselves in a score deficit very early on. They'll have to do well defensively in the outfield and avoid errors to keep this game at just a score of 2-0.
1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Brewer, a Murfreesboro man through and through, was born in the town and currently attends college at Middle Tennessee State.
Brewer's father, Buford, also known as Mudcat, was a Blue Raider Hall of Famer and spent 3 seasons in the Colorado Rockies farm system.
And last year for the Blue Raiders, batted just 188 and 69 at bats, though he did collect a homer and 7 RBIs. As there's a ball in the dirt. Good hold up from Brewer.
Before attending Middle Tennessee State University, he was named the TSAA Class A Mr. Baseball, the district MVP, as well as the TBCA Player of the Year.
The 2-2. Fouled off. Another 2-2 pitch. That one's chopped over the glove of Gonzalez. Fielded and off the mark as Crosland tried to recover that one, but could not make the throw in time. Bless you. And so Brewer will be on base for the second time at 2 at-bats. But a heck of a hustle play from Crosland to not let that one get in the outfield.
A senior at Frostburg State, number 22, Mikey Dodd.
A heck of a hustle, as you mentioned, but Smith jogging over to first base, still unable get that catch in time. So go for an unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first.
Again, Mikey Guy, a big threat at the plate. Has a homer already this season, has 11 over his career at Frostburg State. As the first pitch is outside for a ball. Sorry, I cannot get my eye off that Shuttlesworth jersey. Although I grew up a Knicks fan, that is a pretty sweet Celts. Number 20.
Another unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first base.
Celtics winning big in game 1 of the NBA Finals over the Dallas Mavericks last night, 107-89. Luka Doncic held to just 1 assist as the 1-0 pitch is upstairs for ball number 2. Celtics looking for their first NBA championship since 2008. The 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss for strike 1. As the Big Train in their Celtic-esque green home uniforms, the Senators in their road grays. The 2-1, inside for ball 3.
Got to see the Big Train sport their black jerseys on the road last night. We'll get to see it again tomorrow night when they take on the DC Grays.
That is not in Washington, D.C. Rather, they play at Prince George's Community College as that one's fouled off for strike 2.
Thankfully caught by the net.
Parents, for your safety, children are not allowed to leave the ballpark without adult supervision. Thank you.
And so now Smith is 0 for 3 on pickoff attempts this at bat.
Very bothered by the runner on first. Really trying to limit the Senators' opportunities at scoring yet another run.
Another full count pitch. That one's popped up and out of play. Bouncing right near the flagpole.
And a very lively kid zone here at Shirley Povich Field.
It is Cohenite here at Shirley Povich Field, which is including my younger brother who is somewhere out in the stands. Not sure where he is, but his team competing in his league championship. As the 3-2 pitch is in there for strike 3, the throw down to second is not in time. So Guy is set down looking. Brewer takes second. And with 1 out and a runner in scoring position, that'll bring up the catcher, Nate McHugh.
The pickoff attempt at second base just seconds too late.
People really bringing their jersey game today. I am currently staring at a number 26 road Saquon Barkley jersey as that first pitch is in there for a strike.
Talk about a strong jersey game. I ran into Big Train's #1 fan down in the stands before the game. He's sporting his Padres Hunter Renfroe jersey.
Here comes the 0-1. Runner goes again. The throw down to third. Offline. So Brewers got 2 stolen bases already.
Again, Hunter Renfroe is a very important alum here at Big Train. His retired number seen on the fence and again on the light pole down left center field.
So nice they had to put his number up twice. The 1-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. We've been seeing a lot of Big Train pitchers, namely Jonathan Stevens out of the pen, really working that high fastball, especially when they're in even or advantageous counts. Here comes the 1-2. Lined, blocked by Gonzalez at first. Smith recovers it, can't make the out. The run scores as Gonzalez is still down at first base.
Looks like it hit his body before it was able to land in his glove.
And so Gonzalez has made it onto his butt. I'm trying to figure out the area of discomfort. Looks to be something on the very least the middle lower half of his body.
I think it might have been where they got Luca Perriello last night.
Oh, looks like that ball got him in the right leg.
Including the Capital Top Dog Truck, the Home Run Cafe, and Kona Ice. Visit the Home Run Cafe
Gonzalez
on
trying to walk this one off.
Pizza from Gregorio's Taqueria, chicken nuggets, and sandwiches from Chick-fil-A.
As it looks like he will stay in the game.
Hot dogs can be found at the Capital Top Dog Truck on the complex.
As we mentioned with Luca Perriello taking a ball below the belt at the catcher position yesterday. Getting hit with the baseball at high speed is never fun wherever you get hit.
No, it is not. Gonzalez doing well to walk it off. He'll stay at first base. An unfortunate series of events that has cost the Big Train another runner on base. So they now sit behind 3-0.
First pitch to Owen DeShazo's in there for a strike. Again, DeShazo, a Boston College Eagle. Evan Smith had one of his more successful outings against Boston College on May 12th. Went 6 innings, his longest outing this past season with Maryland. As the 0-1 pitch is in there for strike number 2. O2 pitch is inside for ball 1.
Earlier in the inning when Brewer was on first base, Smith was very bothered by that and kept going after the pickoff attempts. Has yet to go for a pickoff attempt at first this time around.
Here comes the 1-2. Upstairs for ball number 2.
And as I just said that, he'll go for an unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first.
Definitely not as difficult a task for him to do so as a right-handed pitcher would have. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. So DeShazo goes down on a fastball outside. And with 2 outs on a runner on first, that'll bring up the designated hitter, Quinn Allen.
A junior at Yavapai College, number 14, Quinn Allen.
First pitch to Allen's high for ball 1. Again, another local product. Grew up in Germantown, Maryland, went to high school at St. John's College before taking his talents to Greenville at East Carolina as the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Then transferring to Yavapai College, where he's had a fairly productive 2 seasons with the Rough Riders.
Again, Quinn Allen is listed on the Cal Ripken site as a right-handed pitcher, but at Yavapai College, he's been primarily at the bat and in the infield. As we see him at the plate tonight instead of on the mound.
Here comes 1-1. Inside and high for ball number 2. The 2-1 pitch. Off speed high and inside once again. So that'll bring the count to 3-1. Ian Kennedy waiting on deck. The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 2. So Smith finding early success with that fastball. Let's see if he leans on it or mixes it up with an off speed to try and get out of this inning. Here comes the 3-2. All 4 called. So Allen will take his base. That'll bring up the Michigan Wolverine, Ian Kennedy, with 2 on and 2 outs.
That's right, Kennedy is a rising senior at Michigan. Hails from Douglasville, Georgia. He had limited appearances this past season at Michigan, only recording 5 at-bats. He didn't get off any hits, but he did score 1 run this past season. He posts a .167 on-base percentage for the 2024 season, as we'll see a mound visit over to Smith.
And the rest of you visit the Big Train team store behind the Millwood Lawn Grandstand for hats, souvenirs, and more.
Now, as you said, Kennedy, a Michigan Wolverine hailing from Georgia. I have not seen a Michigan-Georgia crossover since the 2021 college football playoff,
Number 42,
when the Bulldogs housed the Wolverines 34-11 en route to their first of 2 national championships in the 2020s, as that one's fouled into the bushes down the right field line. Georgia looking to win 3 and 4 years of this upcoming season. They certainly have the roster to do so. Here comes the 0-1. That's lined fair down the right field line. A hobbling Gonzalez couldn't get to it. 1 run is in, as both runners will hold up in scoring position. The Senators take a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning.
It's 4-0 now. Nate McHugh scratching across the 4th run for the Southern Maryland Senators here tonight. Another mound visit over to Evan Smith.
And so, as Phoebe properly corrected me, yes, it is 4-0, not 3-0, as we are going to have a pitching change.
Number 3, Brandon Cassidy, who got the Big Train out of a huge hole their last home game against the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. He came in to pitch in the last 2 innings of the game and successfully helped the Big Train pull off a miraculous victory after going down 8-0. Big Train was able to come back for a 12-10 lead, and mostly thanks to Brandon Cassidy's pitching from the mound. When we mentioned on Tuesday that Cassidy is a rising junior sophomore?
The rising junior with Christopher Newport.
This past season was his sophomore season, and he earned himself a Saturday starting position on the mound, which is a huge accomplishment in the world of college baseball. Especially as an underclassman, which he was at the time.
A superstar in the CRS CBL last season for the Big Train. Again, allowing just a .64 ERA in 28 innings pitched. Those are numbers you'd usually mostly see in softball, as the cream of the crop usually have some pretty insane pitching statistics.
Our sideline reporter, Kaylee Tallman, who we will hopefully see on the broadcast tonight, she was telling me earlier before the game that on Tuesday, before Cassidy warmed up in the bullpen and took the mound, he was playing rock, paper, scissors with his teammates in the dugout.
And Cassidy will hope to turn the Senators into scissors as the rock on the mound for the Big Train. As Lowdown, like Gunna, plays from the speakers. I also apologize for a mess up I made on the broadcast during the T-Bolts game. I mentioned this was the hype song for Kansas State basketball during the 2023 NCAA tournament. They were actually a number 3 seed. I said they were a number 6 seed, but in that tournament it was Kentucky who Kansas State beat in the round of 32 en route to an Elite 8 appearance before falling to Florida Atlantic in Madison Square Garden. And so Cassidy will look to get the Big Train out of a jam. Already down 4-0 with runs number 5 and 6 in scoring position. As the first pitch in there for a strike.
It's number 5, Mike Sweeney at the plate for the Senators.
Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. So as you said, Colangelo, when the Big Train needed to protect their 2-run lead in 8, he brought out his big guns. And by big guns, I mean Brandon Cassidy.
Very strong and reliable arm, which is what earned him the spot as a Saturday starter at CNU.
0-2 pitch is fouled off.
In fact, he was very proud to tell us that when we met with him on Media Day.
Now, I don't know if the original Christopher Newport would have understood the rules of modern-day baseball, but I'm sure he'd be proud of this guy that's representing his name quite well, as that one's chopped to Newman at third. On to first for out number 3. So the Senators strand 2, but they also cross 2 at home plate. Southern Maryland leads 4-0. We will be right back for the bottom of the third here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Two kids come alive in a night ride. I'll be the girl next door. You'll be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, live here at Shirley Povich Field at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Senators now lead 4-0 over the Big Train, as Bethesda finds themselves in an early hole once again, as Jordan Crosland, the leadoff hitter, will step up to the plate looking to catalyze a rebound here for the Big Train offense.
Yeah, as we mentioned in our pregame blurb,
as there's a line shot into center field. That'll drop for a base hit. So the leadoff hitter, Crosland, is aboard. A nice piece of early hitting. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jaden Bastian.
as we mentioned before the game, it'll be important for the Big Train to get some momentum going early on, especially now sitting in a 4-hole deficit. We saw them struggle with that last night, struggling to keep the bats alive long enough to get enough momentum going and enough runs across the plate. Crosland getting onto base early.
As he's going to receive a quick piece of equipment there from relief pitcher Jack Robinson. As Bastion and Carlin will both dig in. Let's see how much attention Crosland commands at first base. First pitch to Bastion's low for ball one. Crosland, one of a few speedsters on the big train. Interested to see if he's ambitious with Bethesda already down 4-0 early. Runs coming at a premium thus far for Bethesda. As the 1-0's in there for a strike. As there's a pickoff attempt at first base.
So I guess he will command quite a bit of attention over there at first base.
Crosland a third of his way to the amount of tangible attention Nathan Farmer received from Evan Smith not too long ago. Make that 2/3 of the way as that one gets away from Kennedy, and Crosland will take second.
As you mentioned, one of the speedier members of the Big Train team. He will charge on over to second base and is now in scoring position. No outs on the board for the Big Train yet, only their second hitter up at the plate.
So the first run of the game for the Big Train, now in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch lined out into left field, and that'll drop for a base hit. Crosland will be held up at third, but now runners on the corners for Big Train.
We now have a pinch hitter coming in for Emilio Gonzalez, who was nailed in his right leg in the last inning. We've got Jack Guerrero stepping up to pinch hit for Emilio Gonzalez.
Guerrero, one of a few late arrivals to Bethesda, made the start last night. A James Madison Duke rocking a lavender hitting sleeve. First pitch to Guerrero is chopped foul for strike one.
You mentioned he was one of the later arrivals to the Big Train squad, but he's also a returning member. Played for the Big Train last summer and is returning again this summer. Rising junior at JMU. His father, Ramses, was drafted by the Braves in 1988. So another one of the Big Train players with some pretty famous family lineage. This past season with the JMU Dukes, he had 14 at-bats, knocking off 7 hits and 5 runs.
Runner goes to second as Guerrero will foul that one off. Looked like Bastion could have walked into second. Got a really good jump there at first.
See if Guerrero can capitalize on having runners at the corner, no outs on the board.
And I'm curious to see if Bastion goes and Guerrero either swings and misses or lets this pitch go by. If the catcher McHugh even bothers to throw down to second with a runner on third, but we'll have to wait another pitch to find that out.
So we have an unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first. Trying to do some quick calculations.
And Bastion will go, is now caught in a pickle. Crosland deciding whether to go or not, and they'll just let Bastion go back to first. As they correctly deemed Crosland the higher priority over trying to get Bastion out, especially considering there were only no outs in the inning. I gotta say, Mizzou's softball had that happen to them a couple of times this season, and they tried that themselves where the runner on first would intentionally just stop halfway down the line to command the attention of the catcher to throw it down to second base, allowing the runner on third to go home. as the 1-2 pitch is low for a ball.
Saying I was trying to do some quick calculations in my head of how many unsuccessful pickoff attempts at first we've seen just in this game so far. I think we're reaching 6 or 7.
I'm not sure that's going to deter many base runners, although Bastian does hold up that time. And Guerrero will take ball 3 to make it a full count.
Again, Guerrero made his.
There goes the runner, Bastian, and Guerrero is set down looking. Probably thought that one was a ball as he leaned out pretty hard over the plate. But Bastian makes it over to second as Matthew Wesley steps up to the plate with 2 runners in scoring position and just 1 out. Has one of 2 homers for the Big Train this season, which was a big fly over the fence into left field. One of those would bring the score to within 1, as there's a high pop-up into shallow left field, gloved by Brewer. Crosland will remain at third. So now all of a sudden, the Big Train are in danger of leaving multiple runners in scoring position once again, as Josh Skoronsky steps up to the plate for the Big Train.
As we mentioned, Skoronsky's been one of the bigger arms for the Big Train at the plate, nailing a couple down right field over the fence. We'll see if he can replicate some of that success here.
Again, the Frederick Keys mascot here in attendance tonight, looking to bring some positive energy to the Frederick native Skoronsky, as he'll take the first pitch for a ball. Again, had an awesome summer for the Utica Blue Sox in 2023. Had at least 1 hit in 18 of the 26 games he played. Looking to bring that positive production down to Maryland.
Carlin peeking over his shoulder at second base.
1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Here comes the 1-1. Skoronsky chops that one to second. Scooped by Boris and on to first for out number 3. So the Big Train strand a pair in scoring position. They still trail 4-0 as we head into the top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Come and pick me up, 'cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
and welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park. We're set to start the top of the 4th inning where the Senators lead the Big Train 4-0. As Brandon Cassidy will remain in the game for the Bethesda Big Train. As that first pitch to Silas Boris.
Should be a ball.
Is outside for a ball. The second offering to Boris is in there for a strike. Boris making the put out to end the last half inning, leaving runners on second and third for Bethesda. Speaking to the right side of the infield, Jack Guerrero has subbed into the game defensively now for Emilio Gonzalez, as there's a swinging bunt right back to Cassidy. And he'll get that one on to Guerrero for out number 1.
Again, Guerrero is stepping in for Emilio Gonzalez over at first base.
Now Gonzalez did get back up after getting hit in the right leg, but on that line drive soon after, he was limping pretty bad. And that seemed like okay grounds to take him out of the game.
Yeah, I imagine they want to prevent him from getting seriously injured and
especially
giving
this
him
early
some time.
Especially this early in the season.
Just giving him some time to rest that leg and ice it.
There's a pop-up into foul territory. Newman's under it, and he's got it for out number 2. So a quick trip to the plate for Ty Smolinski and a quick 2 outs for Brandon Cassidy.
Cassidy doing well to take care of business early on, as the Big Train still sits in a 4-0 hole. Now up to the plate is number 7, Nathan Brewer.
First pitch to Brewer. Lined fair down the right field line. Brewer will round first. He will make it into second standing up. And with 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning, an XBH for the MTSU Blue Raider.
Talk about Jordan Crosland being speedy. Brewer's got some gears on him.
There have been a ton of those lined ground balls down both the first and the third base line that have gotten under and over first and third baseman for not just the Big Train, but the teams they have played thus far. Here comes the first pitch to Mikey Guy, which is upstairs for a ball.
2 outs on the board, 1 runner in scoring position. Cassidy now behind in the count. Gonna have to work hard to get the Big Train out of this hole.
Big swing and a miss for strike 1.
When Cassidy came in as the relief pitcher on the mound, he was able to hold the Senators scoreless. They'd already put on 2 runs. We'll see if Cassidy can successfully get the Big Train through this half inning, holding the Senators scoreless for their first inning this game.
So the count is 1-2 with a runner on second base to Mikey Guy. Here comes the pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. So the count goes to 2-2 as that was a nice stop by Constable on the pitch low and outside. The 2-2. Fouled off, out of play.
That one's sailing over the kid zone towards the parking lot.
That one bouncing back onto the top of the batting cage down there on the right. As a herd of children hustling after that one. The 2-2 pitch. Lined into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. As Skoronsky with a bullet home that would have likely beat Brewer had he rounded third. But Guy will make it into second. That'll probably go down as a single in the scorebook, but nevertheless, with 2 outs, the Senators now have 2 runners in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Nate
Contestant
McHugh.
number 15, Nate McHugh.
The Big Train finding themselves in a similar situation last inning, unable to capitalize. Let's see if Southern Maryland can do the opposite and extend this lead even further. First pitch to McHugh is in there for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. Eye for ball number 1. The 1-1 pitch in there for strike 2. So here we are again, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the Big Train. This is a situation where they have been burned multiple times.
See if Cassidy can capitalize on being ahead in the count this time.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt for ball 2.
So McHugh will stay alive at the plate. As the Senators have 2 runners in scoring position. They already have a 4-0 lead, but they're looking at an opportunity to extend that lead.
The 2-2 pitch fouled off. Now it looked like it might have deflected, deflected off the head of the home plate umpire.
The other umpire will come and check him out, make sure he's okay, as Cole Constable makes a mound visit over to Cassidy.
Looks to be A-okay. Again, the Big Train looking to bounce back from their first loss of the season last night against Alexandria with a win here today. That would move them to 4-1 on the season. And for the Senators, a win would push them above the 500 mark, as they would go to 3-2 if this score holds serve. The 2-2 pitch, curveball inside for ball 3. Batter on deck is Owen DeShazo. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lined into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. Both runners will come around to score. And the Senators now lead 6-0, courtesy of another 2-strike, 2-out base hit.
An unfortunate situation the Big Train has found itself in yet again.
The center fielder number 12, Owen DeShazo.
Digging a deeper and deeper hole for themselves here.
Again, an uncharacteristic sequence there for Cassidy. So dominant in 2023. We'll try to stop the bleeding here with Nate McHugh, as that first pitch is high and inside for a ball. McHugh entering this game 4 for 14 on the season. Again, had just 6 at-bats last season for Boston College. Here comes the 1-0. McHugh, a fly ball into right field. Diving forward is Skoronsky. He can't make the catch. McHugh's going to route second. He's looking for third. He's going to make it standing up. And the Senators now take a 7-0 lead.
things have just gone from bad to worse for the Big Train here at Shirley Povich Field. So far, they've gone 3 home games without giving up a loss at home, but the loss over at Alexandria Ace's home field might have turned the tide for the Big Train here.
A 3-run top of the 4th makes it 7-0 in favor of Southern Maryland. Here comes the first pitch to Quinn Allen, who swings and misses. It's going to be a foul tip back into the catcher's glove. The 0-1 outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Off speed, swung on and missed for strike 2. Cassidy sprinkled in that curveball here and there. As we find ourselves in yet another 2-strike, 2-out count, with an opportunity for the opposition to take the lead. And another curveball gets Allen swinging and missing for strike 3. But the Big Train have a lot of work to do on offense as they find themselves down 7-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Rachel, I'm not sure everyone.
Move so fast. Here's hoping this night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park.
We've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Senators. It's number 10, Matt Hoover, rising junior at Western Michigan University. Hails from Buchanan, Michigan. Grandson of Western Michigan University Athletics Hall of Famer Liz Miller, played volleyball and field hockey.
That 0-1 pitch to Landon Franklin's. Excuse me, the 1-0 pitch to Landon Franklin's in there for a strike. Third offering to Franklin, swung on and missed, as that one's actually going to be strike 3. So that'll bring up the left fielder Chris Diaz after Big Train's hits leader goes down on 3 strikes.
The Senators bullpen faked us out. We saw number 17 warming up on the mound just before the inning, before number 10 Matt Hoover revealed himself as the true relief pitcher.
What if bullpen entrances were like the Masked Singer and everyone had to guess who was on the mound? The one who pitches high for ball 2, and it wasn't revealed until they were about to start.
From their pitching style.
That's what I actually was listening to a football podcast earlier today, and they were debating whether, especially during the COVID year when no fans could actually go to games and buy tickets ahead of time as the 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, the NFL could have been a little silly and just not revealed the opponents to the public until like the Thursday before.
That would have been interesting.
As
Well, I like the way they reveal their schedule now.
Oh, they do a wonderful job. I love how it's turned into a spectacle.
Yes.
And unfortunately, my beloved New York Giants had arguably the worst one, as they put the least amount of effort into theirs out of all 32 teams. At least that's what it looked like from the outside, as Diaz will foul that one off to bring the count full.
Well, who was it? Was it the Chargers who made their video that was that they needed to hire a new social media person, so they just
Had tryouts?
they had tryouts, but then they just released their schedule through Twitter, and their whole bit was that, oh, we need a new social media intern, and that's why our reveal sucks.
That's really funny, as Diaz will go down swinging. So
Don't
a
take
couple
my-
of...
I don't think it was the Chargers. I can't remember
No,
now.
the Chargers one, they were the ones who used The Sims.
That was them. You're right. They had the best one. I'm trying to remember who.
Chargers social media establishing themselves as superior to the rest of the league per usual, as Carter Newman steps up to the plate with 2 outs, and that'll be a swing and a miss for strike 1. What was also funny is that I can't remember who was first between the Commanders and the Jaguars, but one of them released a thread of their opponents as vines. Great idea. Then the other one did the same exact thing, as Newman will pop this one up. Under it is Kennedy, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So that inning was about as quick as Vine's prime. That lasted just 4 years from 2013 to 2017. Through 4, the Big Train still scoreless, down 7-0. We will be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, here live at Shirley Povich Field, where the home team trails 7-0 as we begin with the top of the 5th. With the bottom of the order for the Senators, Ian Kennedy leading off the inning for Southern Maryland. First pitch to Kennedy is ripped. A sliding stop by Franklin at short, and they get the out at first. So a sweet defensive gem from the Kentucky Wildcat gives Bethesda their first out of the inning.
Number 5, Mike Sweeney.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Mike Sweeney. As Sweeney lays down a bunt. That's gloved by Cassidy, and that throw will get away from the first baseman, Guerrero. So Sweeney will take second on the misfire, as that'll go down as an E1 in the scorebook.
The second baseman, number 8, Silas Boris.
That easily could have been 2 sweet defensive plays in about less than 90 seconds of real-time action. Unfortunately, not the case for Bethesda, as the 9-hitter Silas Boris digs in. First pitch is inside for a ball.
Big Train already in a huge hole with a 7-run deficit. Now with the Senators having yet another runner in scoring position, no outs on the board.
There's a big swing and a miss from
Sorry,
Boris.
1 out on the board.
That'll make the count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Low for ball 2. So Sweeney awfully antsy there at second base. Perhaps trying to get the attention of Cassidy. Here comes the 2-1. That one's chopped to Franklin, and he'll try to get the tag at third, and they do. So a risky play there from Franklin, but a good throw and a good tag. Creates the second out of the inning for the Big Train. And that'll kick it back to the top of the lineup with the shortstop Ty Smolinski stepping up to the plate with 2 outs and 1 runner on first.
Now in the last inning, Cassidy found himself with 2 outs on the board.
Runner goes, Constable fires down to second. And I don't think Franklin was quite ready for that one, as he was not over to second base in time. Although that would have been a pretty tough throw to not only catch, but apply the tag as well. He would have had to go Michael Jordan and Javi Baez within the span of a couple seconds, as the 1-0 pitch is in the dirt for ball 2.
As I was saying, in the previous inning, Cassidy found himself in the position of being ahead in the count with 2 outs on the board. And then the Senators managed to scratch across 3 more runs. So the Big Train was unable to capitalize on the 2 outs on the board and getting ahead in the count. Cassidy now finds himself behind in the count with 1 runner in scoring position behind him. 2 outs on the board for the Senators.
The 2-1 pitch. There's a curveball inside for ball 3. So the batter on deck is Nathan Brewer, who's gotten his cleats awfully dirty on the base paths already tonight.
We saw Cassidy lean more towards that curveball.
3-1 pitch, fouled off.
In the end of the previous inning, it did him well in the previous inning, helping him close out towards the end of the previous inning.
And Cassidy's going to step off the mound, as Sweeney's antics on second. working just a little bit. 3-2 pitch popped up into shallow left field. Diaz ranging in, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Senators are held scoreless for the first time all night. They remain ahead 7-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
I can get to know you better living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, live here from Shirley Povich Field, where Bethesda trails 7-0 here as we start the bottom of the 5th inning.
Number 10, Matt Hoover still on the mound for the Senators. Senators were held scoreless for the first time this evening in the previous inning.
As the 1-0 pitch to Cole Constable's outside for ball 2.
Senators held scoreless by, as Quentin referred to him, manager Colangelo's big guns, Brandon Cassidy.
As there's a grounder to second and off the glove of Boris. So Constable catching a break, leading off the inning, getting himself to first base. That'll likely go down as an E4 in the scorebook, as the top of the lineup will come back up as Jordan Crosland will step up with a runner on first and no outs. As that first pitch is in the dirt, and the throw down to second is in time. So Constable is gunned down at second by the catcher McHugh. Looked on at least the early part of Constable's mad dash to second that he might make it in time, but a strong throw from McHugh gives the Senators their first out of the inning, as that one swung on and missed for strike 2. Or excuse me, strike 1. I should probably start keeping count myself. As that foul ball is actually strike 2.
Can't always rely on the scoreboard, unfortunately.
Still the beginning of the season for them. It is slightly complicated, so I don't blame them, as the 1-2 pitch is upstairs for a ball.
I think that's an issue you see all throughout college baseball. I mean, even when I'm at Virginia Tech, we have some trouble with the scoreboard. It's natural. It's difficult to work the system.
2-2 pitches in there for strike 3. And as the great Michael Scott once said, oh, how the turntables. As the Big Train had a runner on with no outs, and in a few blinks of an eye, they have no runners on base, and now with 2 outs for number 2, both in the lineup and on his back, Jaden Bastian.
Holding the Senators scoreless for the first time this evening. It looked like the Big Train was generating some positive momentum, as Bastian will nail one down center field for a base hit.
That's his second time making it to first base tonight. Trying to give the Senators a taste of their own medicine in terms of two-out hitting prowess. As the substitute first baseman Jack Guerrero will step up to the plate. First offering to Guerrero's in there for a strike. The 0-1 to Guerrero, swung on and missed for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch, high for ball 1. Again, the James Madison Duke, a transfer from UNC Wilmington, a native of River Edge, New Jersey. As the 1-2 pitch is fouled off. I must say the Northeast, not just the Mid-Atlantic, is very well represented in this league. Many players hailing from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Here comes the 1-2. That one in the dirt for ball number 2. I must say, Nate McHugh has exuded a lot of urgency behind the plate.
Just surprising with one runner on first and 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Though I suppose they don't take chances.
As the 2-2 pitch is low for ball number 3. Tried to get Guerrero swinging on a pitch outside of the zone, but to no avail as the count will go full. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Hoover holds the Big Train scoreless once again as Bethesda leaves a runner stranded. They remain down 7-0 as we head into the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie, boogie, boogie down. Baby, can you boogie down?
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Big Train trails 7-0 as we are set to start the top of the sixth with a new pitcher for the Big Train. It is going to be the first appearance of the summer for Alabama's Jansen Kenty.
That's right, number 12, Jansen Kenty, a rising sophomore at Alabama. He's a customer science major at Alabama. He was the 3rd-ranked left-handed pitcher and 29th-ranked recruit from Georgia, as per Perfect Game USA. Prep Baseball Report ranked him the number 4 left-handed pitcher and number 24 player in the state of Alabama. Sorry, state of Georgia.
Here comes the first offering to Nathan Farmer. That's outside for a ball. Now, if you follow baseball very closely, specifically the Little League World Series, as the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike, the name Jansen Kenty might sound familiar, and there's a reason for that. He was on the 2018 Southeast team in the Little League World Series, as that off-speed pitch is in there for strike number 2. That lost the U.S. Championship to Hawaii, then the 3rd-place game to Japan. But earlier in the Little League World Series, his squad was facing off against Texas as he gets Farmer swinging and missing for strike 3. That'll bring up number 22, Mikey Guy.
And by Farmer, you mean number 7, Nathan Brewer.
The third baseman, number 22, Mikey Guy.
Good call, Phoebe. Good call. Back to the Little League World Series. Kenty's Georgia squad was in an elimination game against Texas, and they were down to their last out before Kenty hit a game-tying home run, which sent the Southeast crowd, specifically his father, into a frenzy. His father running up and down the concourse in understandable excitement as that pitch is outside for a ball.
I remember you mentioning this anecdote
Because I was really excited to tell it, as the 1-1 pitch is inside for ball number 2.
I remember you being so disappointed when Jansen Kenty wasn't in the lineup for the exhibition game, though now you get to say it when we're actually broadcasting.
The 2-1 pitch fouled off over our heads here in the booth. But I remember seeing Jansen Kenty's name on the roster when we were given it a couple of weeks ago, and I, who follows the Little League World Series sporadically, that name rung a bell somewhere in my head, and I had to research it real quick as the 2-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. So Kenty rolling here early on, mowing down the first 2 batters pretty quickly as the catcher Nate McHugh will step up to the plate. And once I searched his name on the good old Googler, the first thing that popped up was that home run back in 2018 that kept Georgia alive and ultimately propelled them to the U.S. Championship, as that first pitch is outside for a ball. Now, I guess I do remember that better than other Little League World Series because Hawaii went on to win the Little League World Series that year, as the 1-0 pitch is in the dirt for a ball. And the reason I know that off the top of my head is because I was in Hawaii when it happened, and they were playing it on all the TVs surrounding the area where we were staying, as the 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1.
I love that of your trip to Hawaii, the one thing that stands out to you.
Hey, I remember a lot more than just Hawaii winning the Little League World Series. That was an amazing trip. I'm very thankful I got to go on, as that one's popped up into foul territory. Ranging over is Guerrero, and that one will land in the Senators' dugout. That was actually a bar mitzvah trip I went on with my younger cousin Drew on my mom's side of the family.
Well, that's very fun. I have yet to make my way over to Hawaii, though I do have some family living out there now.
Really? What part?
That's a good question. I'm just forgetting which islands.
As the 2-2 pitch is sent down to right center, and Skaronski's under it to make the catch. You can think about that over the commercial break. We will be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning as the Big Train still trails 7-0. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network. Hello and welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network. We're here live at Shirley Povich Field, where the home team trails 7-0 heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. But they've got a pretty good bat leading off in Matthew Westley. Looking to spark any kind of offense here for Bethesda.
Big Train's been really honing in on the defense, now able to hold the Senators scoreless for the past 2 innings. But as you mentioned, they really need to start generating some positive momentum on the offense, getting some hits off, and scoring some runs across the plate as they sit in a 7-hole deficit. And if you were tuned in last inning, I have an answer. My uncle lives on the island of Maui. I had to double check.
The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed for strike 2.
As we mentioned earlier, it's one of the coolest evenings we've seen here at Shirley Povich Field this summer. Definitely.
As the 2-2 pitch is fouled back into the glove of McHugh for strike 3.
Definitely due to the heavy rain we saw on Wednesday.
Okay, Miss Meteorologist. Well, I guess your last name is Winters. That does make a little bit of sense, as Hoover and McHugh will meet for a quick mound visit. Once again, Hoover, a product of Western Michigan, who took home the MAC Tournament Championship this past season. And perhaps that might spell good fortune for the Western Michigan football team, as the last time the Broncos won the MAC baseball tournament was in 2016. Later that fall, the Broncos went 13-1 en route to a New Year's Six Bowl appearance, their best season in program history at the Division I FBS level, as the first pitch to Josh Skaronski's outside for a ball. Also had a top 5 draft pick in the NFL in the following draft, Corey Davis. A record smasher during his time at Western Michigan, was picked by the Tennessee Titans as the 1-0 pitch is inside for a ball. Now, although his NFL career was not nearly as prosperous as the one he had in college, he will forever have a legacy, not just at Western Michigan, but in the Mid-Atlantic, or excuse me, the Mid-American Conference, as Skaronski fouls that one off. Here comes the pitch. That one's in the dirt for ball 3. Now, I wanted to look this up to confirm. I didn't want to give you all another stat that wasn't true, but Corey Davis is the all-time FBS leader in career receiving yards. One of just 2 to pass the 5,000 mark, as his total sits at 5,285, as Skaronski fouls this one off to bring the count full. As the 3-2 pitch to Skaronski is outside for ball number 4. So the Big Train have a runner on base with 1 out. That'll bring up the shortstop and the teammate of Skaronski at Kentucky, Landon Franklin. Made a sweet defensive stop earlier in the game, trying to translate that success to the plate. His team in dire need of anything, as the first pitch to Franklin is upstairs for ball number 1.
As we mentioned, Skaronski's been one of the biggest bats for the Big Train this summer. Not able to get a hit off, but he'll walk on out to first base, and any runner on base, no matter how they get there, is going to be important for the Big Train here, as they still sit in that 7-run hole. They've had a lot of success in the defense past 2 innings. We'll see if they can translate that into the offense, as the bats really need to come alive here for the Big Train.
1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2. The 2-1. Off speed outside for ball 3. Waiting on deck is the left fielder, Christopher Diaz. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. So a good job by Hoover to battle back. Here comes the 3-2. In there for strike 3. So Franklin is set down looking. And with 2 gone and 1 on base, that'll bring up the left fielder, Christopher Diaz. First offering to Diaz is fouled off for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, off speed, lined foul. And so Diaz finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
Not much luck at the plate here for the Big Train tonight. They've been held scoreless for the past 5 innings. We're looking at 6 now with 2 outs on the board, and Diaz now in an 0-2 hole.
Here comes the 0-2, fouled off.
So Diaz will stay alive at the plate.
Here comes the 0-2. Upstairs for ball 1. Again, Hoover pitching sparingly over his first couple of seasons with Western Michigan. Just 5 innings pitched in 2023, but 18 1/3 this past season, as he gets Diaz swinging and missing for strike 3. So on National Donut Day, the Big Train have one of those in the score column after 6 innings. They trail 7-0. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Sweet suburbia, some fun is all we want. 2 kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door, you be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up, 'cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Big Train still trails 7-0 as they have a new pitcher on the bump, Aiden Rittenauer, the pride of Shepherd University in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, as the first pitch to Owen DeShazo is in there for a strike.
That's right, Rittenauer. Strong legacy status at Shepherd University, as his mom, Jamie Wagner Rittner, was a standout tennis player there from 1995 to 99. Father Jason was a standout pitcher for the Rams from 1996 to 2000. This isn't the first time we've seen Rittenauer on the mound, as he comes in for relief.
As that one's fouled off into the right field bleachers. That one looked like it might have nicked Coyote, the Frederick Keys mascot, who is here tonight on behalf of the Frederick Keys.
We mentioned in the past 2 innings, Big Train doing well defensively. We'll see if they can maintain that status here, holding the Senators scoreless for the past 2 innings.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside for a ball. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Constable will throw it on down to first to complete the strikeout. So a good start there from Rittenauer as he gets the first batter, DeShazo, down on strikes. So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Quinn Allen.
It's an interesting move there from Nate McHugh, the catcher, still running over to first base after being struck out.
Well, that was a drop third strike, and that allows the runner to possibly take first. And it's up to the defense to get him out if that happens, as that one's fouled off.
They successfully did so, as we mentioned, strong on the defensive end here at Big Train.
Here comes a 1-1. High and inside for ball 2. Here comes the 2-1. That one's lined to Crossland at second. Fields it cleanly and gets it on to first for out number 2. So that might have not looked like much, but a big step forward from Crossland, who had booted a handful of those over the past few games. Good to see him making the routine play there.
That's right. I think you mentioned at the beginning of the game, he recorded 6 errors so far this summer.
Yep.
Coming back in a big way.
And so here comes Ian Kennedy with 2 outs and no on. As that first pitch is in there for a strike. The 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt for ball 1. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off out of play. Where's Saquon Barkley when you need him? Oh, he's playing wall ball. He's playing wall ball with Nationals' Bryce Harper. Worlds colliding down the right field line. Time periods colliding down the right field line. As the 1-2 pitch is upstairs for ball 2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. off speed outside for ball number 3. Of course, Barkley taking his talents to the city of brotherly love, signing a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles over the offseason. As the 3-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. So Kennedy is sent down looking. Again, the Big Train running out of time, down 7-0 as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Bethesda Big Train trail the Southern Maryland Senators 7-0 as we start the bottom of the 7th with Carter Newman facing a new pitcher for the Senators in Dawson Weatherald.
That's right, number 17, who we thought was coming on the mound earlier, but was really number 10. Now it's the true number 17, Dawson Weatherald, rising sophomore at Mount Aloysius College. He hails from Newburgh, Maryland. Didn't see a lot of action his freshman season, only pitching 1 full inning. Struck out 1 batter he faced to post a 9.00 ERA. This is actually his 2nd season with the Southern Maryland Senators, so he is no stranger to summer ball in the Cal Ripken League.
That's the count now 2-1 on Newman as he looks at that pitch for strike 2. Now the amount of returning players in this league does vary by team, as we have seen with DC. If you've been keeping up with them, they only, or excuse me, wait, no, yes, DC, they only have 1 returning player, as that one's gloved down by the third baseman guy, but he could not corral it. So Newman will lead off the inning, making it to first base. That'll bring up the 9-hitter Cole Constable. But as I was saying, DC only has 1 returning player, whereas for a team like the Thunderbolts, they have a lot of returners from last year's team that made the semifinals of the CRS CBL playoffs. The Grays, meanwhile, barely missing it. Looking to flip the script this season. as the first offering to Constable is in there for a strike.
Big Train's got a couple of returning players, I'd say mostly in the bullpen, but they do have a couple of hitters that have returned for yet another summer in the Cal Ripken League.
Namely Jack Guerrero, who again subbed into the game earlier for an injured Emilio Gonzalez. As the 1-1 pitch to Constable is dropped, but in there for a strike. Also Nick DeLisi, who has yet to make an appearance this summer. Although he is recovering from injury, so hopefully he'll be back relatively soon. As the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Constable goes down swinging for out number 1. That'll bring up Jordan Crosland, the second baseman.
Made a redeeming play for himself over at second base in the top of the 7th inning. The play we've seen him struggle with this summer. He got a great hand on it, top of the 7th inning.
As the first pitch is fouled back into McHugh's mitt for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Low for a ball. Although it is getting late, we have been in the 9 o'clock hour for almost about now 20 minutes. It is Koa night here at Shirley Povich Field. A lot of young ball players in attendance as the 1-1 pitch is high. Now, I did not play baseball for Koa. I played basketball in the early part of my high school career. A very classy organization, a lot of great coaches across a bunch of different sports. As that ball's low for ball number 3.
Our guest from Koa Sports here tonight definitely took advantage of the picnic area here at Shirley Povich Field. If you're able to make it down here to Shirley Povich Field, you can enjoy a nice picnic in our pavilion, as that one missed the glove of Mikey Guy for a base hit.
So a little bit of positive momentum for the Train as they now have 2 runners on with Jaden Bastion stepping up to the plate. I'll make one more note about Koa. My coach when I was on the basketball team, Jamal Clark, doing awfully well for himself now, as in the past couple of years gotten married and will be having his first kid in not too long of a time. So very happy for my old coach, as the throw down to first is not in time.
Speaking of kids, our #1 Big Train fan mentioned that one of our alum just celebrated the first birthday of his child.
Oh yes, Hunter Renfro, whose jersey he is donning tonight. But Clark was a great coach, held us to a very high standard, definitely made me better as a basketball player. Although I only play the sport recreationally now, I still take a lot of the things he taught me and try to assimilate it into my game as best as I can, as the count goes to 1-1 on Bastion. Definitely had a handful of workouts with him where I really considered my future in basketball. I was really tired after a lot of them, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As the 1-1 pitch is in there for strike 2.
Hopefully the Big Train can take that lesson, as they lost their previous game, down 7-0 now. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as they will hit the road again tomorrow.
As there's a pop-up into foul territory down the right side. Kennedy hustling and cannot make the catch, sprawling on the gravel. As that one will bounce over the stands.
So Bastion will stay alive at the plate.
Here comes the 1-2. High and outside for ball 2. Here comes the 2-2. High for ball 3. So a good job by Bastion battling back in the count to work it full as Jack Guerrero waits on deck.
Big Train still with a goose egg on the board. They have 2 runners on base, only 1 out on the board. We'll see if Bastion can capitalize on this situation.
On most days it's a goose egg. Today
It's a donut.
it is a donut.
For National Donut.
Here comes the full count pitch. High for ball 4. So Bastion works a walk. That'll bring up Jack Guerrero with the bases full and just 1 out, which will catalyze a mound visit between Mick Hugh and Weatherald. And you gotta think if Guerrero is able to scratch across a run or even more. The biggest bat in the Big Train lineup, Matthew Wesley, is currently behind Guerrero in the lineup, followed by Skoronsky, who again hit a home run earlier this week, followed by Landon Franklin, who led the Big Train in hits entering this game.
Entering some very strong arms in the lineup with bases loaded.
The first baseman, number 23, Jack Guerrero.
Some elated screams from the stand here at Shirley Povich Field.
Jack Guerrero's got a nice crowd here tonight as Weatherald's going to step off the mound for just a moment to recollect himself. A big at-bat, or potentially 2 ahead. Here comes the first pitch to Guerrero. There's a fly ball into right field. Back goes Sweeney, and he makes the catch for out number 2. But the Big Train are going to get their first run of the ball game here in the bottom of the 7th as Newman crosses the plate on a sacrifice fly. And Bethesda cuts the lead to 6.
Still a lot of work to do for the Big Train, but they are starting to scratch into that score deficit for the first time tonight.
So Wesley comes up with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. First pitch is outside for a ball. Obviously been a struggle tonight for Bethesda, getting runners in scoring position home. Here comes the 1-0. That one's fouled back into the netting.
Hopefully getting the first one on the board will generate that positive momentum that the Big Train has been looking for all evening.
Here comes the 1-1. In there for strike 2. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Train strand a couple in scoring position once again. Although they did score their first run of the ball game, they still have a long way to go if they want to catch up. 7-1 in favor of the Senators. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Till the sun comes up, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone, meet me in the corner alone.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabin John Regional Park, where the Big Train trailed the Senators 7-1 as we are set to kick off the top of the 8th inning with a new pitcher on the mound for the Big Train in Max Martzoff.
That's right, it's number 43, Max Martzoff, the left-handed pitcher, rising senior at Florida Atlantic.
He'll also be pitching to a pinch hitter in Logan Tribble, as Tribble fouls that one off for strike 2. Tribble going into his sophomore season at Wofford, hailing from Bradenton, Florida, and the Out of Door Academy. As the 0-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. So Tribble's down on 3 pitches, a really nice start for Martzoff. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Silas Morris.
Big Train able to hold the Senators scoreless for the past 3 innings, but Senators did a lot of damage early on, getting 7 runs on the board. We'll see if Martzoff can maintain the strong defensive trend, keeping them scoreless here.
That first pitch is inside for a ball.
Now, we've seen the Big Train in this position before, having their backs against the wall with a huge run deficit, but in the bottom of the 8th, they came alive for a pretty miraculous turn of events to walk out with the victory. We'll see if they can replicate that success they saw earlier this week again tonight.
As the 1-1 pitch was fouled right by the head of Ty Smolinski, who's standing in the on-deck circle. One-two pitch, outside for ball 2. Martzoff, both this summer and last, has leaned heavily on that fastball that tails away from righties. As there is that fastball that's fouled off. Morris staying alive. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. So there is that fastball, which looks like it almost goes in and then out like a screwball. I'd say it has that much movement. So Martzoff with 2 early Ks, and that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, the shortstop, Ty Smolinski. According to my parents, that name was actually in consideration for me other than Quentin, as
Ty
first
Smolinski?
pitch is in there for a strike. No, just Ty. Not Smolinski. We have no connection to that name whatsoever. As there's an off speed in there for strike 2. That looked like a sweeper from Martzoff.
He's taking care of business very early on in his appearance. Very strong at the mound. I think this is only his 2nd appearance this summer.
As that one's in the dirt, skipping past Constable for ball 1. Here comes the 1-2. Chopped foul. Looked like one. That might have hit Smolinski in the process. Here comes the 1-2. In there for strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down, all on strikeouts for Martzoff. We head into the bottom of the 8th inning, where the Train were chugging pretty hard the last time they found themselves down in the 8th inning here at Shirley Povich Field. We'll be right back here on Big Train Baseball Network.
Come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here at Cabot John Regional Park, where the Big Train trail the Senators 7-1 heading into the bottom of the 8th inning. Now we'll start with both a new pitcher for the Senators and a new hitter for the Big Train. Phoebe, why don't you tell us about the new pitcher for the Senators first?
Number 31, Davis Rivers. He's a rising sophomore at Wofford College. He hails from Columbia, South Carolina. Now, he did not play his freshman season at Wofford College, but in high school, he won a pair of region and state champs for AC Flora.
As the pinch hitter Whitaker gets into one, but that one will be gloved easily by the center fielder DeShazo for out number 1.
Now, as we mentioned, we've seen the Big Train in this position before in a huge score deficit, yet in the bottom of the 8th, they really came alive and were able to put hits on the board and come back with a win. We'll see if they can replicate that success here tonight.
Here's the first pitch to Landon Franklin. That one's inside for a ball. As you alluded to, Phoebe, an 8-run 8th inning against the T-Bolts, propelling Bethesda to a 12-10 win on Tuesday night.
I think that might be exactly what they need here tonight.
The 1-0 to Franklin, in there for a strike. Here comes the 1-1. In there for a strike. And so the Big Train, just a few days ago, as a wise man once said, got the club going up on a Tuesday. And here on the last weekday of the week, as a wise gal once said, Big Train got to get down here on a Friday. As the 1-2 pitches swung on and missed for strike 3. So Franklin set down swinging for out number 2. As that will bring up another pinch hitter who is usually a regular starter. Not in the starting lineup tonight, but making a pinch hit appearance in the 8th inning. It is number 8, Jackson Giacconi.
As you mentioned, Giacconi, a typical starter for the Big Train.
As a swing and a miss there on an off-speed pitch inside for strike 1.
It's been a reliable and successful arm for the Big Train so far this summer.
But that pitch has been a little bit of a kryptonite for Giacconi. He swung on and missed that a couple of times. Here comes the 0-1. That one's upstairs for ball 1.
Rivers taking his time between pitches. Here comes the 1-1.
Big swing and a miss from Giacconi for strike 2. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Giacconi goes down swinging. At the 8th inning, magic not being able to be translated here tonight as the Big Train still down 7-1 as we head into the top of the 9th inning. You are listening to Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice in the mix, it'll fix you up.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, here live at Shirley Povich Field, where the Big Train trail the Senators 7-1 as we're set to kick off the top of the 9th inning with the left fielder Nathan Brewer.
Now, despite the Big Train trailing in the score,
There's a fly ball into shallow left center. That'll drop in the Bermuda Triangle for a base hit.
as I was saying, despite the Big Train trailing in the score, we had a huge attendance here at Shirley Povich Field, 679 fans. We thank you for coming out to Shirley Povich Field to support your Bethesda Big Train.
And a crazy coincidence, the man who sang 679 Fetty Wap, it is his birthday today, June 7th, 1991.
Happy birthday, Fetty Wap.
That's the first pitch to Mikey Guy is low for a ball. As one of our production assistants, Jordan Parham, breaking that news to us. As that one's lined to Franklin, could not make the pick at short, as that ball will bounce into center field. So guys aboard first. Senators giving themselves a pretty good chance to pile onto that lead.
Senators were held scoreless for the past 4 innings. They now have 2 runners on base, no outs on the board yet, with catcher Nate McHugh stepping up to the plate.
I must say, when our good friend Harrison Myers texted us that the attendance was 679, that was one of the more elating text messages I've ever got. Oh, is that Patrick Chapman? That was Patrick Chapman. My apologies, Patrick. Didn't mean to miscredit the attendance number. Here comes the 1-0. That's in there for a strike. Patrick Chapman.
Not one of those 679.
No, not one of those 679. As he is currently not at the ballpark on the IL with an illness. The 1-1 pitch is inside for a ball.
For those of you that didn't catch that, Quentin said our Patrick Chapman, our assistant GM, was on the IL, the injured list, which is relatively true. He is at home sick, but will hopefully return to our squad soon.
The grind never stops as that one's grounded to the third baseman. Newman makes the tag at third, but the ball gets away from Guerrero as that throw was way high. And the runners will stop at second and third. So a good play by Carter to get the force at third. But I'm not sure I'm not sure 2 Jack Guerreros stacked on top of each other would have been able to get that one.
No, that one just sailing a little too high out of his reach. Senators now with 2 runners in scoring position. Again, they were held scoreless the past 4 innings, but looking to pile on to their already impressive lead.
First offering to Owen DeShazo's outside for a ball. The 1-0 pitch, chopped foul. There have been a few of those ground balls that have headed right for the Aces dugout. A little unintentional friendly fire.
Senators dugout. Aces were last night.
Yes, I am talking about the present dugout here at Shirley Povich. There have been a few ground balls. There were both tonight and last night, if that's what you were alluding to. My apologies for the miscommunication, as the count will go to 1-2.
Got confused because you called it the Aces dugout.
Did I say Aces?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I was confused. Oh, man. I apologize. As that tailing away fastball sets another Senator down.
Now 2 outs on the board, but still have 2 runners in scoring position.
Wow, that is so weird. I didn't even catch myself saying that.
It's okay. It's been a lot of baseball the past few days. First
First offering to Allen's in there for a strike. Martzov trying to keep this game at 7-1. The 0-1 pitch. High and inside for ball one. The 1-1 to Allen. That one's chopped foul for strike two. Now you got to think with Ray Allen's movie character and he got game present in the stands, you might think the Allen at the plate would receive some of that energy, especially considering how good Jesus Shuttlesworth was in he got game, but hasn't shown it yet tonight as Allen is drilled in the back.
And
the classic announcer's jinx.
That'll load the bases for the Senators. 2 outs on the board. Bases fully loaded, already a 6-run lead. Looking to extend that here now with
The first baseman, number 42.
It's going to be
number
Ian
42.
Kennedy.
Ian
Phoebe,
Kennedy.
the second those words left my mouth, I knew something prosperous was about to happen for the Senators, and that's exactly what happened.
You don't have my manifesting gift. You
No,
just jinx
I'm
things.
a jinxer. I know. And that's so unlike me because I am extremely stitious. I am awfully disappointed in myself as the 1-0 pitch is fouled off for strike number one.
Extremely stitious. Yet another office reference. I think that's 3 in a row for you.
Oh, Michael Scott's a little stitious.
Oh, little stitious.
Yes. As Kenny's going to get checked out by the third base coach. Most recent example of my superstition, the Knicks were playing the 76ers in the NBA playoffs earlier this year. And one of my roommates, Matt, doesn't really believe in superstition. And Jalen Brunson, the Knicks' best player, was at the line, and he goes, "There's no way Jalen Brunson misses this free throw," knowing that I am superstitious. Brunson misses the free throw. Tyrese Maxey gets the rebound and converts on the other end. Mind you, it was a very close game. Naturally gave him the death stare. Seemed like he understood. And then later in the game, the Knicks were doing super well, and he turned a lamp on. And the thing about superstitious people, when something's going well, they are not going to want to change anything about what is happening, especially people who are watching sports. So when he turned the lamp on, I uncharacteristically snapped. I went, "Matt, turn that lamp off." And I never really do that, and I felt bad afterwards. The Knicks won the game, which I was very thankful for. That was Game 6, where New York went on to the second round where they'd eventually lose in 7 to the Pacers. But superstition is an awfully restrictive thing sometimes. It really gets a grip on you.
You know, I need to start being a little more strict with my superstitions.
You know what? Life without superstition sounds really nice, so I think you're okay living a nice life without superstition. As that ball gets by Constable, and the Senators will scratch across one more as they take an 8-1 lead here in the top of the 9th inning.
I was going to say, I've started to notice a crazy coincidence. Anytime my older sister is next to me while we're watching a Caps game, either on TV or in the stadium, something good happens for the Capitals.
Oh.
She was with me at Capital One Arena when we watched Alex Ovechkin score goals 801 and 802. I haven't been able to watch a game with her in a long time, and the Capitals have not had a lot of success in a while.
Snuck into the playoffs, much to the chagrin of a handful of other fan bases. Mostly Pittsburgh and Detroit, although they were swept immediately by the Rangers as that pitch is in there for strike 3. So the Senators add on to their lead. They're ahead 8-1. The Big Train, their last chance here in the bottom of the 9th inning to at least tie or perhaps with a miraculous comeback. An 8-run comeback would do the trick, just like they did on Tuesday night. We will see right here on Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Said hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to Big Train Baseball Network, live here at Shirley Povich Field, where the Big Train trail 8-1 here in the bottom of the ninth inning, looking for a miracle comeback as the first offering to Carter Newman's in there for a strike.
Again, Big Train defense was able to hold the Senators scoreless for 4 innings straight, but that streak was broken top of the ninth when they
As the
scratched
0-1
another one across the plate.
Pitch is swung on and missed by Newman for strike 2. That's back-to-back off-speed pitches for Rivers. Let's see if he goes for 3 in a row or leans on a heater, as that was 3 in a row, but Newman looking at that one outside for ball 1. The 1-2 pitch. There's a high fly ball in the right field. Back goes Sweeney. He dives and cannot make the catch. So Newman will have a stand-up double to lead off the inning. A good start for the Train, who have, again, a lot more work to do if they want to rectify this 7-run deficit.
We've seen them do it before, and they have the opportunity to do it again, starting off with some very positive momentum.
As that'll bring up a pinch hitter making his first at-bat of the summer. It's going to be Keenan Bowman out of East Carolina.
That's right, number 9, Keenan Bowman, a rising sophomore out of East Carolina. He was ranked the number 1 shortstop in the state as a high school sophomore, and he helped lead the South Charlotte Panthers to the 2022 Perfect Game 17U National Elite title.
Did not play for the Pirates this past season, who fell in their own regional to Evansville, the number 4 seed, who's looking to make some noise at Supers this weekend as Bowman falls behind 0-2.
Can hear some clanging down at concessions being picked up on our mic.
0-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. So a quick pinch hit appearance for Bowman, and not one he would want to do again.
Number 1, Jordan Crossland.
That'll bring up the top of the lineup. Second baseman Jordan Crossland stepping up to the plate with a runner on second and 1 out. The first pitch to Crossland, in there for a strike. Here comes the 0-1. That one looked at for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 to Crosland. Outside for ball one. Here comes the 1-2 to Crosland. Swung on and missed. For strike three. So Crosland goes down swinging.
That'll bring up number 2, Jaden Bastion, to the plate.
Again, the Big Train will be hitting the road tomorrow for their first matchup of the season against the DC Grays at Prince George's Community College. As the first offering, the Bastion's in there for a strike. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside for a ball. The 1-1 offering. Swung on and missed for strike two. So the Senators on the verge of win number 3. The Big Train on the verge of consecutive loss number 2.
And also their first loss at home this season.
Here comes the 1-2. Off speed low for ball 2. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that'll do it here from Shirley Povich Field as the Senators dominate the Big Train 8-1 on the back of early inning offense, scoring at least one in the first 4 innings. Phoebe, it was a subpar all-around performance from the Big Train. What do you attribute this loss to?
I think it's the defensive errors early on in the game. I mean, once the Big Train found themselves in a score deficit early on, they really struggled to come back from that at the plate. It's those errors early on that are going to cost you the game, unfortunately. They got themselves into a pretty big hole, and unlike Tuesday, they were unable to come up with a huge momentum boost at the plate to give them the victory. So that'll record their first loss at home, unfortunately.
And they found themselves in these situations in the past 3 games. They were able to rectify with a huge 8th inning on Tuesday against Silver Spring Tacoma. Not able to do it last night against Alexandria. Not able to do it tonight against Southern Maryland. Phoebe, going into tomorrow in a road contest against DC, what's one thing you're looking for Bethesda to improve upon that you might have thought was not great tonight?
Well, we saw them rectify those defensive errors later on in the game. I mean, holding the Senators scoreless for 4 innings straight. We need to see them get that control early on in the game, really come out into the field with their eye on the ball, essentially being able to get under those balls early on, just rectifying those defensive errors, those defensive slip-ups, and, you know, keeping their opponents at a low score early on to avoid getting themselves in a huge hole like they saw themselves in tonight.
And again, 6 recorded errors for the Big Train tonight. It's going to be hard to win ball games when you mess up that much in the field as the Big Train did tonight. So once again, your final score, Southern Maryland 8, Bethesda 1. We will catch you tomorrow from Prince George's Community College, where the Big Train will look to get back on track against the Grays of DC. For our production assistants, Lindsey Morin and Jordan Parham, my broadcast partner, Phoebe Winters, I'm Quentin Corpuel. So long from Shirley Povich Field.